Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of GIS Answers. Today what we're looking at is the county of Defiance in Ohio. We have a viewer called Steve who's interested in seeing these two BFRO sightings. He lives in this area and he's interested in hearing about these two. Both are Class A sightings. One's in 1977 and I do believe the other one is in 1998. So we'll just have a look at this one, south of the city of Defiance, 1998. A man in a boat spotting deer witnesses a 3 to 4 foot tall bipedal walking on a log followed by a scream. So let's have a look. It seems like there's a river running south of the city. And it looks like a wooded area surrounded by subdivisions, but yeah, so this would be a prime area for Sasquatch. Perhaps a good habitat with wooded and access to water. So we'll flip over to the BFRO website and have a look at this 1998 sighting. The nearest road is State Route 66. I live in Defiance, Ohio, along the Orglaze River. I was going upriver in my rowboat with a motor while the river was flooded. I like to go out to see if I can spot deer. I got a mile or so upriver and was rounding a bend in the river where there were lots of trees piled up from floods. I saw a glimpse of what looked like a small Bigfoot, 3 to 4 feet in height. It walked up a log and disappeared over a pile of trees. Just as I looked to my right, I saw 3 or 4 deer standing there looking at me. I jokingly said to the deer, "Did you see that?" Just when I started to speak, I heard a scream that would curdle milk. I just sat there, fighting the current, watching the deer. They started looking around, trying to see what made the noise. For the heck of it, I started talking to it to see what would happen again. It did, only louder and longer than before. The deer took off, and so did I. I've lived on the river my whole life, and I've never heard that before. Since then, I've spotted what seemed to be the same creature watching me while I was sitting in a lagoon off the river. It's a good spot to see wildlife. The creature I've seen is small, only 3 to 4 feet tall, and always in the shadows, where I can't get a good look at it. It was in the evening, the sun was real low, it was getting dark, but I could still see. The environment is swampy, rocky, wooded. This used to be the Great Black Swamp. Okay. So that's a cool one. Here's another one. Just off, looks like Highway 127. Looks like an agricultural area. Midnight sighting by a motorist on Coy Road. So if we zoom in, there's Coy Road. It looks like the intersection of Coy Road and Moon Road. And as you can see, there's farms with some wooded patches interspersed within, and it looks like a watercourse that would run through these wooded areas, which obviously looks like a riparian zone along these watercourses, and they're connecting these wood patches. So if a Bigfoot was going to travel, or any animal in that fact, for that matter, they would travel along the watercourses that provides this wooded cover and connecting larger patches of forest. Okay, so let's look at this other. Let's go back and have a look. Okay, 1977, a Class A. A Class A is a visual sighting. While traveling at 55 to 60 miles an hour, it saw what appeared to be a tall being covered with brown hair. It was standing in a ditch beside a cement bridge that was about 2 to 3 feet above the road. The being's head was about another 2 to 3 feet above that. I estimated that the being would have stood 8 to 9 feet tall. The next morning, at about 10 a.m., I went back, because I wanted to make sure that I had not just seen weeds sticking up. The site was clear, no tall weeds or anything that would or could have been what I had saw. I did not think about checking for tracks at that time. The time was around midnight. The being was standing in a ditch that ran through an 8 to 10 acre wood. The woods are about 50 feet off the road. On the other side of the road is open farmland. There are houses a quarter mile on each side of the ditch. The farm to the north has a barn within 100 feet of the ditch. All right, let's go back and have a look at the map. So perhaps there's the ditch, maybe. Yeah, hard to tell. I mean, there's around this area there's farms with barns, forested areas. So yeah, I mean, a decent story there. And you know, if you're going out squatching, you could drive some of these back roads, have a look, and maybe do some wood knocks or some calls out into these wooded areas, but do that at your own risk and if you're interested in that kind of thing. If you enjoy these videos, just let me know and we'll look at some other parts of the USA and Canada. Thank you.